Before love had a symbol, take a moment and picture a rose. Its soft petals, its delicate fragrance, its timeless beauty. Today, it's one of the most recognizable flowers on Earth, a symbol of love, romance, beauty, and emotion. But here's something most people never think about. The rose wasn't created for love. In fact, roses existed long before poetry, weddings, Valentine's Day, or even human civilization itself. To find the true origin of the rose, we have to travel back millions of years. Long before the first cities appeared, wild roses were already growing across parts of Asia. They survived changing climates, spreading naturally through forests, mountain valleys, and riverbanks. These early roses looked very different from the flowers we know today. Most had only a few petals. Their colors were limited. Their appearance was simple. Yet even then, they possessed something remarkable, a beauty that stood out in the natural world. As early humans began settling into communities, they started noticing these flowers. Not because they were valuable, not because they were rare, but because they were beautiful. Generation after generation, people collected them, planted them near their homes, and admired their fragrance. Without realizing it, humanity had begun a relationship with the rose that would last for thousands of years. And slowly, the story of the rose began to change.
The flower of ancient civilizations. As human civilizations grew, so did the importance of the rose. Some of the earliest known rose cultivation took place in ancient China. Gardeners carefully selected the most beautiful flowers and replanted them year after year. Over time, wild roses slowly evolved into more refined varieties. Petals became fuller, colors became richer, fragrances became stronger. The simple flower of the wilderness was gradually becoming something extraordinary. At the same time, roses were flourishing thousands of miles away in Persia. There, the flower became much more than a decoration. It became a symbol. Persian gardens filled with roses became places of beauty, peace, and reflection. Poets wrote about roses in verses that survived for centuries. Artists painted them. Writers celebrated them. The rose had become woven into culture itself. And as trade routes expanded across Asia and the Middle East, roses began traveling farther than ever before. Merchants carried rose plants, seeds, and cultivation techniques across vast distances. A flower that once grew quietly in isolated landscapes was now beginning a journey across civilizations. Its influence was spreading, and the world was taking notice.
Empires, perfume, and global fame, eventually roses reached the great civilizations of Greece and Rome, and there, their popularity exploded. The flower became connected to mythology, celebration, wealth, and power. Roman nobles filled their gardens with roses. Rose petals decorated grand banquets. Some celebrations used so many petals that entire rooms appeared covered in flowers. For the wealthy, roses became a symbol of status and luxury. But perhaps the most important chapter in the rose's story came from something invisible: its fragrance. People discovered that rose petals contained an extraordinary scent, unlike almost anything else in nature. Over centuries, skilled craftsmen developed techniques to extract precious rose oil. The process was incredibly demanding. Thousands of flowers were needed to produce even a small amount. Yet the result was so valuable that rose oil became one of the most prized ingredients in the world. From royal courts to luxury perfumes, the scent of roses traveled across continents. The flower was no longer simply admired for its beauty. It had become an industry, a luxury, a global obsession. And still, its journey continued.
As centuries passed, empires rose and fell. Kingdoms disappeared. Borders changed. But the rose endured. Farmers continued cultivating it. Breeders experimented with new varieties. Year after year, new colors, shapes, and fragrances appeared. What began as a simple wild flower eventually transformed into thousands of different varieties found around the world today. Some roses were bred for beauty, others for fragrance, others for resilience. And together, they created one of the most diverse flower families on Earth. Today, roses are grown on nearly every continent. Some are sold in local flower markets. Others travel thousands of miles before reaching a wedding, an anniversary, or someone's front door. Yet despite all the changes, the meaning of the rose remains remarkably familiar. It still symbolizes love. It still symbolizes beauty. And it still helps people express emotions that words often cannot. The next time you hold a rose, take a moment to think about the journey hidden within those petals. A journey that began millions of years ago in the wild. A journey shaped by gardeners, traders, poets, artists, and dreamers. A journey that transformed a simple flower into one of the most beloved symbols in human history. Because you're not just holding a flower, you're holding millions of years of evolution, thousands of years of cultivation, and countless human stories woven together through time. And that is the incredible origin of the rose.